Welcome back to the channel, guys. So earlier I filmed a video in the Gauntlet where we used the healing with rune swapping method, and I feel like a lot of people might not want to watch hour-long Gauntlet videos for information. And those of you who have been watching my channel have found the information in those videos, so I feel like if it can help you guys, it can help other people who necessarily don't want to watch such a long video. So I figured we'd break it down and put it in a really short clip to explain what's going on and how it works and how you can get pretty much infinity heals on a tank or on anyone that you really want to heal. But they have to be wearing life runes for it to work. This may also work in the Nemesis survival dungeon, but it only comes around once a month, so I haven't really had a chance to test it in there yet. But I will test it in there next month when it comes back. Because I only figured this out probably like a week ago. I figured it out on camera. Those of you watching would have figured it out at the same time that I figured it out. But anyway, without further ado, let me explain. Alright, so if you look at Bomb's health, it's not all the way full at the completion of that node. So what I'm going to do is swap his life runes to team speed runes to be able to heal him. It only works if you get his life all the way back to 100%. How you get his life back to 100% is by reducing his HP by taking off the life runes. If you're reducing it enough to get him to 100%, the game will always remember that he had 100%, so then you can just change back to life. So as you see, now I have full life, then I just go back and I change my life runes back, and it remembers that I had full life and allows me to continue the node. And that trick can work as many times as you want. As you see, my Bombetta is extremely devastated at the moment. Like, you would normally have to send in a bait team because he wouldn't be able to take another hit without dying. But instead of having to use bait monsters or send in a bait team, you can just do this simple, easy, swap his life runes to any rune that's not life. It doesn't have to be team speed. It can be anything. And you're just trying to reduce his HP back to 100%, because if you can get it to 100%, the game will remember it's at 100%. Now his magic number since mine, on my Bombetta, is 142,408. So with the life runes on, I'm at like 595k. As long as I don't go below the 142,000, I can heal it back. In this instance, I did go below. So if you watch what happens when you try to heal when you're below that number, it doesn't actually work. And the reason why it doesn't work is because even with taking the life runes off, my Bombetta is not at 100% life. So since he's at like roughly 96% life or 95% life, the game won't save him as 100% life, meaning it doesn't matter. I'd have to leave these runes on, and it's not actually healing me then, meaning I've reduced my hit points, so it just looks like I've got more health. I don't actually have more health. But say I could get that to 100, the game will remember it. If you only get it, a little bit close to 100, it won't remember it, guys. This is what happens when you switch to team speed or any other runes, and then you switch back to life. See, it doesn't save it. It only saves it if you get his life back to 100%. And that just means that you have to have his life not go below whatever his base life without life runes is during the fight. Whereas mine's 142,408. So that's my goal every node, is don't let him go below that number, and this method will work. If it doesn't, or if it does go below that number for whatever reason, you couldn't help it, then I just use a bait team to go in and soak up the first monster's stamina, so that way my bomb has a chance to heal. And you don't always have to change all of his runes. Like if he's barely injured like that, just changing one rune will heal him back to full health. These are all inserts from last night's video doing the dungeon. Last night's video doing the dungeon, I focused on trying to utilize this method, or should I say a main priority of prioritizing this method, and it was working great, and the only time I had to send in bait was when I accidentally let his health get too low because we misplayed and used the wrong move. But it's extremely helpful for those of you who don't have, the handful of bait monsters. I've been preaching to get bait monsters. I've been preaching to, craft life runes for them and all that good stuff. So like this node is a perfect example, you know, where you again would have to send in bait because your bomb is not going to make it. There's just no way he's taking a hit with that little bit of health. You swap them around and voila, you got full health. So that's pretty much all there is to it. If anyone has any questions on it, you could just ask me in the comments. Again, it's just figured out while, you know, trying to utilize everything you can in the dungeon and then just being like, I wonder what happens if you do this. And that's the result. Now, I don't know how long that method is actually going to work. It could be patched at any time, and it might also work in the Nemesis Survival Dungeon, but either way, it's definitely not going to allow you to just instantly beat the Gauntlet, but it will help you, it'll help you an extreme amount. For those of you like myself who don't have a Shelly that comes back to life for you, it's about as close as you're going to get to a Shelly coming back to life for you. Even other people with a Shelly can do it too, meaning they can heal their Shelly. That's basically all it is to help you guys that don't have time to watch an hour-long video, and I don't have timestamps in those videos to be like, hey, look at 10 minutes into the video, what happens? How I gain a bunch of life, So this video is for you guys who don't have much free time. Anyway, later.